Okay, so now I'm joined by my lovely husband, Michael Boudram. Hello.
Chrissy B.
You all right?
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me. So we're going to speak a bit about our relationship because for the viewers that don't know, we had a very, very rough start, I would say. The first few years of our relationship was quite terrible. Do you want to explain or shall I?
Go on, you can.
Okay, I'll start. You can just jump in. So what happened, we got together, but at the time I had severe depression, panic attacks. You know, I wasn't myself. I used to lose my temper very easily. I would lash out. I would explode. I would hit my husband and my boyfriend at the time. So things weren't really good between us because I think it was mainly because of the problems that I had. You had your own issues as well, didn't you? Yeah. Do you want to explain?
Well, I was a very moody person, and I was very selfish.
You can tell the viewers.
I was very selfish,
Yeah.
and of course, a moody, selfish person clashing with someone with depression, panic attacks. It was just going downhill all the time. We're arguing every single day. That was the thing.
It was
nearly
terrible.
every single day, and we would make up, and then we'll make up, and then 5 minutes later we'll be arguing over the same thing all over again, and that was like continuously.
Yeah,
it was a nightmare.
It was very distressing, wasn't it? Because although we loved one another so much, but we just couldn't help ourselves, right? And I think one of the main issues, because afterwards we did get help. We got some counselling and everything, and we worked through our problems. But it was hard because we had to change a lot. And one of the main things that we were taught to do is to look at ourselves, because what we were doing, we were constantly pointing the finger at the other one. Oh, we're like this because you did this, because you're like this, and I'm not going to change until you change this. And it was literally constantly like this. I was too proud to look at my own mistakes.
I was very proud, and I was adamant that I was always right. I don't know if you thought that way, but I'm right, and you have to give in to me. You have to listen to what I'm saying and agree with what I'm talking about. And imagine a battlefield. You've got two enemies at the end of a battlefield, and they're throwing grenades and rockets and things like this. No one's giving in, and that's what it was like. No one was giving. We were just throwing grenades and abuse and things like that, and it didn't work. It didn't work at all until, as you said, we realized that we had to look at ourselves as individuals and see what we could work on ourselves. And I realized that I wasn't listening to her. I realized I wasn't listening to you. And I had to change that. I said to myself, I was proud. I had to realize my mistakes and actually deal with them.
So this is the thing, when you go into a relationship and you have issues of your own, it does affect your relationship, no matter how much you try to deal with it and try not to let it affect you. But I had my own issues, you had your own issues, and because of that we got into trouble. But even when we sorted out those issues, when I obviously got help for the depression, I don't have that anymore. I haven't had that for the 15 years. And you got help for your problems as well, because you came from a background of, like, the family were all alcoholics. So there was all that as well. So we both had baggage, basically. But then we sorted that out. We got help for that. Lives moved on. But we still had little issues, didn't we? Because we still were arguing about little things. And one of the other things that came up was that I was brought up in a family that was very, very affectionate. And by the way, we've been together how long now? Married for 14, been together for, I should know this, I'm really bad with dates.
28, 27 years we've known each other.
Yeah, okay, so we've known each other quite a while. So anyway, I was brought up in a very affectionate family. My parents always told me they loved me and always, like, cuddling me and everything. Whereas in your family, there was love there, but because of all that was going on,
it wasn't expressed as
It
much.
wasn't expressed. No, Mum didn't used to tell you she loved you much then, did she?
She did at a young age, but when she went through her problems, it kind of stopped.
What about affection and stuff? You didn't get many cuddles?
Didn't get that. As a young boy, I did, but as you grow up and you go through problems, your family goes through problems. When you don't get that at the time when you do need it, then it was hard to do.
So you can imagine how it was when the two of us got together, or when we sorted out the other problems. But then we still had that issue where I was, I think, overly affectionate, wanting to hold his hand all the time and cuddle him all the time and kiss him all the time, and he's more like, come on, tone it down a bit because it's too much. So I used to think, why is he being so cruel to me? How can he not want to cuddle his wife? How can he? So it was all that kind of thing. And then again, I realized one day when he actually told me, I used to get quite offended, but when he actually told me, look, we weren't even talking about the problem as such, but he just mentioned, look, I didn't really have affection as a child. I thought, oh my gosh, that's probably why he's like that with me, because he's not used to it. So I made a decision that day that I would tone it down a bit. And then we spoke about it. And he also made a decision that he would turn it up a bit.
Yeah.
So we kind of reached that compromise. And actually, since doing that, because I kind of backed down and I thought, okay, I'm not going to demand affection from him and be like all needy and everything, he actually started to become affectionate towards me. So what I actually wanted in the first place, he began to do just because I backed off. Did you realise you did that?
No, I know that I needed to change when I did say that to you. And I think I realised, I came to a conclusion that, well, we all know we are all different. Men are different from women. Bottom line. But when you're in the middle of an argument, you don't think about those things. You just want your point across. And it's like when it came to that realisation that you are different, you want, as a woman, you want attention, you want affection. And I, as a male, I don't want those things. I want my me time. As much. I want my time by myself. Me time, as I like to say. Me time. I want respect from you.
Define respect for people. Like, what do you mean you need respect?
Well,
because I know because it's something that I've heard men mention before, and also one of our viewers wrote it as well. Yeah.
Well, respect. We men, we want to provide for our homes. We want to be the one who feels that we are protecting our woman, protecting our family. And if we don't get that, if we don't feel that we're the protectors, if we don't feel that we are providers, that sometimes we have the say, we make the decisions sometimes. If we don't feel that way, we don't feel like a man by our woman, then it's like you're taking away the basis or the foundation of who we are. And that can be really hurtful for a man if he doesn't feel that his woman is not respecting him and looking up to him. And I feel deep down a woman does want that. She wants someone who will protect her and take care of her and the family, etc. So if you take that away from a man, he feels like I'm less of a man. Especially in arguments.
Most men wouldn't say that, but I think it's not to say obviously, because when we come to any decisions, we always discuss things together. He never sort of says to me, "Look, this is it," and we always discuss things together. But I think it's important that we respect each other's opinion. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to go and do this, and I don't care what you think," because you have to come to that compromise.
I always include your opinions in anything. I'm talking about when we had the conflicts before, when I didn't feel respected. I didn't feel like you were listening to me.
Because I didn't respect you before.
So, and with a woman as well, you want the affection. You want to be taken care of. And we are not built to hug and kiss and give compliments like the previous couple said. So if you can understand that, even in the middle of a big disagreement that you're having, you can go out of the room, take a few short breaths. And I've learned that. I mean, you didn't learn that until later on, that sometimes you wanted an answer there and then. And then when I want my me time, I don't want to speak now. I'll speak if I want to later on. So I think you realise that
it's really hard to deal with.
You want answers now. We're like, so what? It's okay. And I remember not expressing, I had it here, but I didn't communicate it outside with you. So you didn't understand. You're not in my mind. You're not understanding what I'm thinking. And we men, we don't express what we're thinking up here. We think you automatically understand. It's obvious. Whereas women, they like to talk and express everything. So when we got that kind of understanding, as you said, you toned down, I toned up. We came to an understanding. And it's like, if there is any disagreement, we can work it out. It's not like before.
That's right. And if you are going through any kind of relationship problems, don't feel ashamed or shy to go and speak to someone. If you need to speak to someone that's had more experience, or that you see their relationship's good, or if you have to get professional help, do that, because you know, sometimes problems come up for different reasons. There's events that happen in life that can drive a couple apart sometimes. Things come up, but there's always help for you out there. So don't give up, you know, keep work. If you really do love each other, you know you're meant to be together, you're compatible, then work at the relationship, because it's great. Married life is great, isn't it? I love my husband so much. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, we have reached the end of the program.
Already?
Yes, we have. I told you it'll fly. Okay, so that's it for today, folks. So if you do want more